Robert Reagan, and I'm about to read a short story I wrote called Loud. First, these kitty cats wanted to make an appearance. Okay, anyway, here's Loud. It's light green and super fluffy, almost in the shape of popcorn. It looks dusted sometimes with tiny bright crystals. Its hairs could be red, white, orange, purple, really any color. The smell is delightful like sweet pine. This scent gets intensified when it meets fire, becoming smoke as money gets blew up in the air. It's that dro, haze, or sour diesel. Exotic marijuana better than the brick shit brought in by the Mexicans. On the street nowadays, stoners and dope boys call this good weed loud. With this, there's no going through your couch trying to find enough change to buy a blunt. Take that $5 and go cop some mid. Because a blunt of loud could cost you as much as $20. Yeah, that's right, there's big money in this game. So big you have to watch your back constantly. If you sell it, you better not smoke it. You'll be so calm and laid back in the blur that you'll never know who's plotting on you. It could be anyone, because people go crazy when money comes into the picture. Your best friends could turn into your worst enemies over money and expensive drugs. Not to mention women. Jared learned this when his best friend in the world double, no triple crossed him, running off to the mountains with his baby mama and his son. The bitch was gone for good, plus he lost his road dog. She took out child support papers on Jared, knowing he was having trouble finding a job with his criminal record and tattooed hands. He knew she was laid up with his boy, both of them laughing, thinking he'd end up in jail. Jared and his mile-long rap sheet was the way he'd avoid the cage this time. See, he knew people who knew people who knew people. One way or another, Jared could get you what you wanted. He was a businessman and a street pharmacist. Christy should have known he'd find a way to stay out of the cuffs. It's stupid, but Jared, who had already been to prison for selling weed, started slinging again to pay his child support and stay out of jail. Either he was going to stay out or go back in deeper shit. Jared didn't look at it like he was doing this just to stay out of jail. No, he was out there taking these risks to take care of his son. Speaking of his world, Christy and Nathan were forced by the courts to move back closer so Jared could have regular visitation. He made his payments, even bought himself a pimped out old Impala, simply because Jared stepped up his game. Hooking up with a dangerous connect with a better product you could hear loudly from miles away. It was exotic marijuana and Jared made a killing. The connect, an old man with a long gray beard, told him he needed to carry a pistol. This made sense because slinging even regular blood would bring out hungry wolves ready to take what you got. Riding legal and smooth, Jared carried a snub-nosed revolver, but never really had any problems. The only thing that bothered him was Christy with her tight body giving all that love away to a guy who used to follow him like a lost puppy. If she didn't think Jared would get the money up, she could have just asked him. It was Nathan's idea to take off to her parents' place in the mountains when it all first went down. He didn't want to see Jared, knowing he'd probably knock his teeth out. They finally met face to face one evening when Jared went to pick up his son. Nathan, with his bald head, was nervous, shaking when they got near each other, knowing just how easy his old friend could flip. "I'm sorry about all of this," he said, reaching out to shake Jared's hand. Not raising his own hand, Jared says, "I can't believe you do this to me." He says, "You know how much I love Christy." Jared goes on to tell him it doesn't matter what you do with her. He says, "You just better not ever hurt my son." Nathan thought this was all leading to an altercation. Jared took the high road, leaving with his little boy without fighting or causing a scene. He knew Christy would call the cops, and beating Nathan up wasn't worth getting caught with the QP he had in his trunk. Yeah, maybe Jared was an unfit parent, rolling around with his son and drugs in the car. It was wrong, but he never let anything happen to his child. That night he had business to take care of, so Jared dropped his son off with his parents, driving, listening to music. He was making his rounds, stopping by his friend Wayne's house. Jared was sketched out by two guys there who he'd never seen before. One of them was short and real skinny with long shaggy hair and a beard, crushing a pill on the table. The other was huge, tall, and built like a beast. Standing there, he said nothing but just chewed on a toothpick with his own long hair slicked back. Jared trusted Wayne, but these two seemed funny. Wayne with his thick white boy dreadlocks hands him the money for a half a quarter aloud. He assures Jared that his friends are cool. They've done time too. Yeah, that's what you want around you. A criminal when you're already breaking the law selling drugs yourself. The four of them ended up smoking a blueberry blunt aloud. Wayne told his partners all about Jared's best friend taking off with his baby mama. I'm at least a better friend than that, says Wayne as he passes the blunt to this massive giant of a man. They all ended up laughing. These guys turned out to be pretty cool, even promising to buy some loud from Jared when they got up the money. Jared said he'd cut them a killer deal before he left. He even gave them a bud apiece. Jared could do this because business was good. All the time he'd buy himself something new like a watch or a necklace. Spending his dirty money on expensive things helped him to get over what Christy did. It kept him from turning that 38 on himself. Everything was on point except for rumors of drug agents closing in. Jared never stayed in one place just to avoid this. As if this wasn't stress enough, one evening he was spending time with his son when the phone rang. It was his long-lost friend Nathan calling to say that Christy had been kidnapped. This hurt Jared, but the important thing was that his son was safe with him. He didn't really care if these goons fucked her 6 ways from Saturday. After all, she was Nathan's now, not his. Looking down at his son playing with blocks on the carpet, Jared thinks how he has her same blonde hair and blue eyes. No matter what was going on between them, that little boy would always need his mama. This drove him to try and save her. Besides, it was all his fault. The kidnappers left a note that he, Jared, give them a pound of loud if he wanted to see his pretty little baby mama in one piece again. Who was this? It had to be someone close to him. Or maybe not. Most likely it was this tattooed artist who Jared knew from the pen. He popped back up and started stealing Jared's territory to peddle his own loud, which was actually quiet. It had to be him. Who else? Either way, this meant he'd have to reunite with his former friend. By the way, how did he let them take her anyway? Nathan couldn't even protect himself. Still, he rode along as Jared went to front the weed to save Christy. This whole thing was a major loss for him. These thugs, after quick money, wanted to meet in public. This puzzled Jared, who figured they'd pick somewhere more secluded. Pulling into the car wash parking lot, Jared knows exactly what's up. Standing by the vacuums with their faces hidden by black bandanas are a short, rail, skinny punk and a huge, massive beast of a man, both with their hands around Christy's arms. Passing over the bundle aloud, Jared says, "You know I know who you are, right?" The big man with his face still covered says, "We figured you would." He tells Jared how it was Wayne, his other friend, who was the mastermind behind all this. He told them where to find Christy. Told them Nathan wouldn't be a problem. For this, they'd be taking Wayne back a cut. Yeah, he was a better friend than to take his girl, but not set him up to lose everything he had. All that mattered was Christy was safe. Yeah, Jared saved her, but she still went back with Nathan. Jared didn't care about jail or money. All he wanted was revenge. Driving around, he waited to see any one of these 3 clowns. He was finally ready to use that pistol. Next, Jared went straight to Wayne, pistol whipping him across the cheek. Jared demands to know what these guys are. He leaves after finding out and busting a shot in Wayne's kneecap. These two were supposed to be at a party in the projects, meaning they had a ghetto pass. Jared didn't have one, but pulled up in the crowded parking lot with the gun in his hand. Getting out, he never saw this tall, skinny rail creeping up behind him. Knocked out, his gun was taken. Coming back to his senses to wild, screaming voices, Jared realizes everyone's watching him. This huge beast of a man who endangered his son's mother and cost him everything was walking up closer and closer. Without hesitation, he grabs Jared, slamming him hard on the hood of someone's car. With no gun, this was like David versus Goliath for Jared, who let his hate power him to rise to this violent occasion. He bit this guy's ear like Mike Tyson and slammed his head through a windshield. Still, this huge freak kept coming. They fought until they were both bloody. Finally, this freak throws in his white flag and retreats. Sure, Jared overcame the odds and slayed the dragon. He got his revenge, but it didn't matter because they still had all that loud that he had to pay for. Plus, there was a warrant for his arrest after falling behind on his child support.